Buho.
I'm one of the lucky envoys. You know what do they say? Like it's sort of like I'm just a transponder. I'm a missionary. I was just a vehicle. But the family we have pictured here, including Betty and Octavio, that's what the magic's about. So yes, Claudia is your presenter today. I'm happy to be here. We're gonna have some fun. We like sharing the Buho. That's my job. Thank you for coming.
So hi everyone. Well, we're still missing 5 people. I'm sure you know they'll catch up eventually. My name is Claudia. I have worked for Buho Mezcal since 2019. I was born and raised in Mexico. I've been living in New York since 1999. My brother is sitting right here. We've been adventuring here in New York for almost 26 years. I found a Buho in one of the bars in New York City. I'm not a tequila person, and you know I'm glad that a person like me to them introduced me to something else that was too smoky, that it had a different flavor profile. It wasn't as citrusy or as harsh as tequila, and that was a Buho. I looked at the back of the bottle and I found a buhomezcal.com, and 5 hours later on the phone with John, I was hired to work for a Buho. So, you know, like
that was divine intervention. info@buhomezcal.com works.
And that's how I knew about the brand. Once I start venturing into what the product is, it's a single family.
Yes. Single family, the Jimenez Mendez Monterosa family. And we basically discovered them. One of my partners is a chef. And he kind of went to Oaxaca for years and kind of triangulated on that. So there's a lot of divine intervention. I think in many ways, as Claudia knows, the younger generation here, Betty and her brother Pepe, they're kind of lead.
So it's a single family, 6 generations. This little kid you guys see right here, he is our 6th generation, along with the rest of the kids. He's the only one that is working at the palenque. He's helping us with fermentation. He's helping us with the mash process. As he said before, these are the 2 brothers, 2 sisters. We'll probably have a female master distiller. She's in charge of the Espadin and Espadin with mango, which we currently don't have in New York because we sold that, but we're going to bring some. And then we have Elsa, which is the head of the family. She's the main character. All decisions goes through her. She does not distill, but she's one of the heads of the family. And then we have Nere, which is Luja's wife. She's she's married to him. He's a mezcalero, but her dad itself is a mezcalero. So she comes from a double mezcaleros family.
Can't get away from it.
Yes, and they have a daughter. I was glad, you know, I met her in January, and she pronounced herself as La Niña del Mezcal. Like, you know, she says she sells mezcal, like, she knows about what she's talking about. The palenque, it's at the family's house. We started off with, we started off with 1 palenque, and right now we have 3.
The palenque is the farmland?
The fabric, distillery,
Okay.
that's how we call it in Oaxaca.
Or, yeah, basically it's, the workforce, right?
Yeah, distillery. But yeah, a lot of people in Jalisco, they call it fabrica. But yes, it's, the palenque is the distillery. They started off with the family, with the mom and dad palenque, and right now they have 3 discrete palenques and 2 of the children family house. We have a bottling facility in-house, and Beatriz and Isaac were the ones that opened the doors for export in 2010. And then eventually in 2012, that's when we exported our first expression, which was the Espadin. So this is how our mezcal is made. The source is really important. It plays a really important part in the whole process. If we don't have good soil, if we don't have good plants, we don't have good mezcal. Doesn't matter what we do during the cooking process, fermentation, distillation. If our fiber source is not good, we don't have a good product. There's three different phases right here. You see the source, the agave is very important. When you see in the picture, it's an Espadin. It takes anywhere between 9 to 11 years to full mature that agave, which is the first glass that I see. Each single one of the mats explains you the year, the region, and the type of agave. You're always going to find maguey and you're always going to find agave because in mezcal we have two different names, the scientific name and the community name will be called. Santiago Matatlan, which is Valles Centrales, you can find, they call it Espadin, but in Puebla they call it Espadilla. It's the same scientific name, it's just different region. The cooking, we have underground ovens. It looks like a pyramid. It's like a cone. At the bottom of it, we put encino wood and rocks. We lit that for about 5 hours, and we wait for the heat to come down. And then we start piling the agaves. Once we pile them, it kind of looks like that. They make like another, like a little hill. We put the special blankets we call, they're costales, or like plastic. We put some soil on top of it, and we let it lit for anywhere between 5 to 7 days, depending on the weather. If it's cold, 7 to 10 days. If it's hot, it's 4 days. We allow the nature to go its own pace, right? And we let it sit, we let it rest. And what we see there is the mash. We use a millstone taona, and it's conducted by a mule or a horse, or some people use donkeys. We have a house mule. It doesn't have a name because it's we have a lot of workers there, so everybody needs like the mule different. So they just name it whatever. The mule. El caballo. So then, what you see here, this is Fidencio. Is Fidencio, right?
Yes.
So this is Fidencio. This is the kid I was talking about. He's 19 already. He helps us at the palenque. What he's doing, and that's the new. He's doing the mash. When I went to Oaxaca, they were doing Mexicano. It's a type of agave. And what you see in the other picture is the bast. It's a pine bast. It's an open air. We allow it to ferment anywhere between 48 to 56 hours, depending on the weather as well. During the winter, sometimes it's cold at night. It takes a little longer. Like June, July, it could take 3 days. Depends. It really depends. We don't really have an estimate to say we distill in a week. We don't really know. It could rain in the morning, and then at night it could be really humid. It's rare. Have anybody been to Oaxaca? No? Well, the weather is unpredictable. It could be cold at night, and then in the morning it's 80, and then in mid-afternoon it's 90, and then it's 50 in the night, so it's rare. It's just rare. So the fermentation happens anywhere between 48 to 56 hours, as I said. We don't really know. Not even they know.
So you're using the yeast that is available, the wild yeast?
Yeah, it's all wild.
It's open, it's airborne. So what you see here is the copper pot. It's called arequipe. What happened is that the heat, we put inside the alambique, we allocate the fiber and the juice that comes out of the bag that's already been fermented. We added into that little thing, and then the evaporation and condensation happens. This is full of cold water, and then that's where we get the drink. It's drop by drop. You gotta see it to
pretty
believe
basic. Pretty basic, but they take very clean gasoline jugs. That's what gets them.
It's very slow. Sometimes they start working at 4 a.m. and I had been there and I had asked like until what time, right? And they are paid to do what they call the homework. So once the homework is done, you can go home. Like if you finish at 3, then you finish at 3. But if it takes longer because the wood was wet and it's not getting as much heat, well, it's gonna take a little longer. After that, we allow it. We are committed to generate consistency within the brand. We allow the mezcal to sit in steel tanks anywhere between 4 to 6 months. And once it sits there, we after that we regulate the mezcal. Espadin is the only one that we incorporate as spring water. That's why when you taste it, you feel a little bit of the minerality from the water. It's the only one that we add water to it. The rest of it, the wild agaves, we don't. As I said, we allow it to sit anywhere between 4 to 6 months to create consistency. And if you guys haven't really paid attention, you'll notice what you see in the back of the bottle is what we call the lot number. So for each lot, we batch 5,000 liters. So in this case, this says 47. So that means that we have batched 5,000 liters. And we have let it sit in this steel tanks for 5 months. So the first expression you guys see is the Espadin.
I think that's upper left if you want to start sipping. Yeah, regular Espadin.
As I said, the picture shows you the shape, the form of the agave. As I said also, we don't really know how long for the agave it takes to reach full maturity. We said anywhere between 7 to 10 years. And in the other part, you could see that what you could pair with that specific agave. Right here, you can do the dark chocolate, the apricots for the first expressions. Espadin goes really well for cocktails. That's what we use in Espadin for our cocktails. It goes good with, one of the cocktails that I personally like is cucumber. You put it into your shaker, some cucumber, some basil, some lime, a little bit of agave, and mash it as if it was a mojito. And you put ice, shake it, and it's really fresh, balanced. It balances out the taste of the Espadin, of the fruta agave notes. That's my personal opinion, right? For whiskey or bourbon drinkers, it goes really well with old fashioned or Negronis because of the spices.
Yeah, I'd say the Negroni right now is the most popular mezcal cocktail. I just saw a recipe come out from Punch Drink today for a white mezcal Negroni even, using, dry vermouth, some special sort of funky herbal stuff from France. So it's fun to see people play around, right? This is sort of your workhorse to do.
It's good with Amaros also.
Excellent, yeah. M&M, anybody heard of an M&M? That's a mezcal and Montenegro. Yeah, it's a certain type of Amaro. It's great, yeah, try it. And-
Balances out both notes.
Yeah, and that's the one that's got that funky sort of trapezoid looking bottle. Yeah, it's Italian. Very strong. It's kind of like a
Yeah.
So, any comments about the Espadin? Obviously, this is our flagship workhorse. We want to hear what you have to say. For sure. For
So
sure.
for the first expression here in Westchester Wines, we have the liter. It's I would say it's a really good value. I believe it's at $39.99 for the liter. You get 33 ounces. If you were to do a cocktail for a party, you can batch it. It's a 45% alcohol. I always said you can drop your percentage. Instead of using the 2 ounces, you can do 1.5. And the majority of the times you do percentage, right? Like what you have in front of you, you have 1 ounce of chinola and 2 ounces of mezcal. So you can drop it to 1.5, mainly for mezcal, and then you save a little bit on your other liqueur. Other presentations we have available, is the 750. They don't have it here, but we have it available with the brand. And then we also have what we call the pachitas, the small ones with 375s. It's really good for you whenever you go out, and jump into the train and one of the shots. Pre-game. I have done it. I have friends that have done it, and it's about $20 for 375. So request it to them, so they can order it. The next expression we have is Espadin Capon. This is a flagship for the family itself. Espadin Capon is the same type of agave. It's Espadin. The reason why it's called Capon is because it's a castrated agave. I don't know if everybody sees it, but the whole purpose of the agave is, this is the agave, the whole purpose of the agave is to bloom this trunk in the middle. And once this trunk grows, it blooms these flowers. This flowers has some seeds inside that has the genetic information for the agave. Once this whole thing happens, the agave dies. So we don't allow that to happen because we already waited anywhere. It doesn't, some of them are 30 years, some of them are 22. So we don't allow to get to that point. So
the trunk goes up every year so that it's...
Once.
Just once.
The agave only blooms and grows only once. So if that agave dies, that's it. We don't have no more agave. And the quiote only blooms once. So we don't allow that whole process. Once the quiote is growing, what we do is we cut part of the quiote, and because the agave's whole purpose is to bloom the flowers, now this agave is confused. It goes into stress, and all the sugars, minerality, and nutrients goes back to the agave plant. The agave starts fermenting inside the soil, and we allow this agaves to stay in the land for another year. If you guys taste it, it's the same type of agave, it's just because we allow it to stay another year. It's a little more subtle, some more spices.
How many more proof too, I think? Is it 94?
This one is 47.
Yeah, so it's 94, so it's a little bit more proof. And if you still have some of the regular Espadin, it's nice to go back and contrast a little bit. Yeah, I wouldn't make a cocktail out of this.
No.
It's simple.
I can taste the higher alcohol.
Any comments? Yeah, you could probably taste, but there's a depth to this. Yeah, I like to say it's got an extra dimension. So I want to hear what you folks think. Yeah, definitely smoother, right? It's a little unfair when you go back to the Espadin compared to some of the other wild varietals, because nature does its job. It does round the edges out.
And
you can see why I wouldn't make a cocktail out of that.
Even though it's a higher improve, you don't really feel it. Yes, so the pairing is the same thing with as the Espadin, the apricots. If anybody wants more apricots or crackers, we have them here available.
It is nice to taste it again after you've had something.
Yeah, the first time I learned it, the
It
second
does
time.
change, yeah. I always try to bring something to a tasting, even in a store to eat. Whether it's barbecue, potato chips, sometimes bacon.
Believe it or not, John is one of the founders from Maker's Mark in San Germain. He's been in the industry for over 25 years. Is one of my mentors. I come from the card dealership industry. I was doing 2 jobs. I'm a single mom. So I was doing the spirits side, but I was also doing the professional side, right? Where you go and dress up and sit at a desk for 8 hours. And the majority of the jobs that I had after I met him, he would give really good word about myself. And he's a really good person. He just likes to talk about So the Arroqueño, this expression is at 53% alcohol. It's a little bit more intense. It takes anywhere between 15 to 22 years to reach full maturity for the agave. And for this Arroqueño, this is our lot number 1, which means we had already distilled this once. The beauty about mezcal is that maybe next year we don't get Arroqueño, so we're not gonna have Arroqueño. I always say that if you like a specific agave from El Buho, keep it and save it and put it aside because we might not have it anymore. We have an expression that's called Cuishe and it's out of stock in New York. Yeah, we don't have any more. I'll tell you later what other stores has it. We don't have anymore. We're not gonna make anymore because we don't have agaves. We have Madre Cuishe, and we recently came out with Espadin, which is an expression from Puebla. So,
So are like the Espadin more like readily available?
yes, because the agave itself is high in sugar, and those we do cultivate. We do grow, not grow them, but we plant them. And the way we get the agaves is the mother agave has little babies, little agaves. We take the agaves and then we plant them. The rest of the agaves, the wild agaves, that's why they're called wild. We don't plant them; they naturally grow. The only way that the wild agaves can reproduce is three ways. One is by it rains. It rains a lot, and then the seeds are on top of the quiote. They fall, and then eventually they grow somewhere. Another way is the wind. If it's really windy, the seeds glide, and then they land somewhere. And another way of reproduction, our agaves are colonized by bats and colibris, little birds. So they come, they eat the honey inside the flower. Sometimes they take it in their mouth, or sometimes they swallow it and then they poop somewhere. And then we get agaves. It's nature, right? Arroqueño, 53% alcohol. As I said, this is our only lot. It's creamy, it's intense, it has a really long finish. I always say this is something you can pair with lamb, pulled pork, tacos de carne asada, because it's very intense. It could be used as a digestive aid. Yeah, it's good for your health. And then the Tepeztate, that's another thing about the brand itself. We're not an industrialized brand. You see a clear bottle here because when we made a deal with this company in Mexico City, we purchased a certain amount of bottles. And if you see the bottles, I mean, if you guys want to pass them around, if you see the bottles, they have the alcohol percentage handwritten.
Oh yeah.
Because first we distill at the percentage that the master distiller wanted to distill. For some expressions, we can distill at 51. For Arroqueño, for some of them, we can do 53. We have expressions for Cuishe at 49. Another lot was 48. So that was a really good beauty about the brand, but because we bought a lot of bottles, we were able to do that. But then eventually COVID happened, and this bottle place, they got a really big contract with Patron. And because it was so expensive, we're using now the clear ones. So that's another thing about the black bottles. If you like the black bottles, get into your hands into one, because right now in New York we already have the clear ones. So we're not gonna have them anymore. That's awesome.
Yeah, we kind of thought George Clooney stole our thunder by putting out a black bottle mezcal. But I won't comment further on that.
Somewhat original.
For the Arroqueño, you can pair with the strawberries, blueberries, popcorn, and potato chips. And as I said, it goes really well with pulled pork, lamb, or tacos al pastor. So for Tepeztate, which is your last glass to your right. For this, I really love this lot. We have lot number 2, which is 2016, correct?
Yes.
2016 is when we distilled lot number 2.
We got a good price on it too, so keep the price affordable.
This agave can take anywhere between 15 to 30 years. For this expression is 22 years. 3 times distilled.
And I had a couple of cards left. You can see it comes out of the side of the mountain. If anybody has the cards.
This is one of the wild.
Yes. Arroqueño and Tepeztate.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Like that's about the, you can't see. That's about the size of a Fiat car, a small VW.
This one is? Yeah.
Only grows north face generally rocks.
Oh, wow.
And you see them from the highway. Like, how does that happen? So imagine harvesting those, right?
Oh.
You definitely need burrows to get them.
Yeah, wow, that, okay.
And it doesn't like flat areas. It has to have altitude.
It's gotta
Yeah,
be
like,
tricky.
who knows? It's almost a miracle. that
Even to
grows.
harvest, it can take anywhere between 5 hours, and it needs about 4 guys to harvest one.
So what quantity of like fluid or liquid do you get out of one of the, like how many do you have to harvest to do the whole?
So for Espadin, we use 1 kilo for 1 liter.
Okay.
For Tepeztate and Arroqueño, because they're so low in sugar, it can be about 10, 12 kilos for 1 kilo,
Oh, wow.
depending.
And what's kind of cool is that's it. The one plant.
Right. I mean, what blows my mind, like you were saying, in grapes, you get a harvest every year and you replant and you do it again. And if you have bad
So
weather,
as Claudia and I
It's
both
just
know,
one
that's
year.
the real dilemma. Like
the
as
time
mezcal
that,
gets bigger,
yeah,
right?
the
It's
time
still really
is
special.
crazy. Because you can't possibly forecast planting enough or seeding enough or,
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
The only
don't
thing we
plant
can
the
plant
wild
is
oats,
Espadin.
so-
Yeah.
wow. I don't know how you can produce any of this at all or market it.
Well,
It took a while.
you
Yeah,
gotta tell stories like this, you know, so you appreciate it.
crazy.
Sometimes the leaves are this thick, you know, mangoes.
Wow.
This thick. It's like an elephant. I call it java the agave. They're not, seriously, they're not all as good looking as this one. This is a Hollywood picture we took.
Yeah.
A lot of times they kind of like have this wild, you know, they look like they're moving in the wind. It's pretty wild.
And you see agaves that are like so big, the size of the door, and they're not. They're 7. I mean, master distillers or mezcaleros can tell you, oh yeah, that's 7 years. But they don't really know because it started growing. They kind of average how long wow they do.
Wait, so technically in this picture, this is not what's being cooked.
No.
It's the root mass.
Or
underneath
pina,
this.
yeah.
Correct.
Think about like, what do they call them, artichokes, right? It's very similar. But they'll take the leftover and they'll use them.
That looks like
Otherwise,
fun to pull out the side of the mountain. Definitely a good time.
And it's hard to harvest them. They have this type of juice that when they cut it, it burns them. It burns the man, the agaves. So it's that's one of the things. Why is
Wine lovers out there, like you super tough. Shall we start making cocktails tonight?
so 3 times distilled, and as you see it in the car, it's about the same thing we use for pairing. Blueberries, potato, chips, popcorn, and for food, we have even an adventure in salsa, green salsa, fresh green salsa, and some of it inside. It goes really well with pork.
You put one of these in a green sauce.
The Tepeztate. Like I had, we had the pleasure of having dinners, and the majority of my job is in New York City. And we have done pairings where they do a 5 curve, like the 5 sitting, and we pair the agaves. Yes.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
See, ideas come up. Yeah, there is a certain greenness to the Tepeztate that's kind of.
For the Arroqueños, one time they did a tres leches cake. The base was horchata, and they used cinnamon and Arroqueño for the meal.
Wow.
So you feel the spiciness, the sweetness of the mezcal in a cake.
It's so sweet.
Thanks to Westchester Wine Warehouse, Claudia, for putting this together. Because the food pairings and this camaraderie here, even this room, it smells so even now. It's great. It's like we're in this little like aquarium with a dog.
So right now we're gonna do what they call in here hands-on cocktail, and Kevin is the one that's gonna present it to you guys.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Hi guys, my name is Kevin and I'm your attender today, almost tonight. I'm from Colombia. I have 3 years in the country. So I like the country, it's very good. Okay, so my English is bad, but I'm gonna try again. We will do the mezcalita, okay? We have different ingredients in your position. Okay, all people, we can make one drink, okay? But not all people can make one very good drink. So you are here for make one very good drink. So you have the shaker. Your shaker is different than mine. This is American shaker. It's 2 parts. Yep. You have the London shaker. This is more fancy for more chilling people. So normally I like put first the liquors because you have all in the shaker, and later put the ice. Because if you put first the ice, it's melting, and you don't try better the taste for the liquid. So it's okay. It's okay, no problem. Okay, we start with the best mezcal in the moment, the Buho Espadín. It's very neutral, it's very good. Put all first. Thank you. Later the liquor chinola. You have liquor chinola? Yep. Okay. Don't drink. Just kidding. Just kidding. You can smell. Just kidding. If you want more. Okay. All heat is fresh. We use the agave. Agave is better because it's more natural. I don't like the sugar syrup. It's not really good. And the agave is bad, you know. And the lemon juice is fresh. It's very important. We use the good ingredients for you make one cocktail, because if you use the artificial juices, the hangover is so bad. I don't like. And you put the cocktail.
Fresh juices.
Yeah. Okay. You have in the hands the jalapeno. If you want more, let me know. Okay. Alright. Put the ice in the shaker. Oh, yeah. And the agave too. If you have the agave. You put the agave too? Okay, perfect. All if you want to sweet. Okay, thank you. It's water. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's it. Perfect. Thank you so much. You want to get? Nah, just kidding. If you want to be ice, remove all that. If you don't want to be ice, only remove the core, okay? Very nice little box, thanks.
That's what they call a club shaker. It's the simplest to use.
Alright. Thank you. Everybody want ice? Ice?
Cheers. Because of the jalapeno. Sometimes it's very sweet.
I'm not even poor. I wasn't myself.
Wow.
first you smell is the smoky mezcal, you know. Later the jalapeno. I have to learn it for you.
Have anybody made a cocktail before? Yes? Have you made a cocktail before?
Yeah.
I have made several cocktails.
Here's an intro.
Oh, beautiful, yes.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
One more ice.
Thank you.
One more ice. You good? One more ice.
Sir?
Thank you.
Got it?
Garnish is always important too.
I'm really
Nice
intrigued
nose
by
off
the
food.
plants. So do
The details is very important.
agave grow on your property?
What do you think? Do you like
So
it?
are some of them on your neighbors, and do you go and find them and tell them you need to take care of this
No,
grass
some
for
of
20
them,
years?
no, like some of them don't
What do you think?
grow. The majority of the people that we acquire from the it's in the family.
This name is, you know, for Dominican, for Caribbean
It's the real
people.
deal.
For the rest in America is maracuyá, marchita. It's one very good fruit. It's go versatile for the drinks, for the food, for the salt. I think so. The liquor de mezcal is very versatile too. You can use it different cocktails, and you can replace.
We still stick with
Beautiful.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.